Howdy folks, Mark Serbu, gun designer, gun nut. Got a quick one here. Not quite phoned in because I did a little bit of work. My buddy bought this thing. He bought the lower because, you know, funny, and he got a 9mm upper for it. And I've never played with these newer crop of AR pistol caliber uppers, so zero experience with these. It's kind of unusual to me. I mean, man, I always record like when it's peak time at the airport or something. Holy crap, jet's going off every not even 5 minutes. Obviously it takes Glock mags, and you put this little adapter in here, and it's held in place with a mag catch, but it also has a set screw on top. Not a set screw, but a flathead screw to keep it from coming out as well. So that's kind of cool. And he opted for one of these. Another thing I'm not familiar with at all, these little trigger packs. It's all one unit. Yeah, I know. I don't get around much. But anyway, so it's got a decent enough trigger in it. He wanted me to put this together for him, so I did. And I figured, what the heck, I'll try it, see how it goes on the high-speed video. You know what, and while I'm looking at it, well, I've got it right here on camera, because I want to look at the initial bolt velocity. Obviously, it's an average over the whole length of stroke here, but the initial, what do we got? Yeah, 2 inches. The initial 2 inches, we'll look at the bolt velocity. And I guess they did that just to be, you know, have nice even numbers. Yeah. So that'll help me to figure out the bolt velocity, because years ago when I messed around with these, I got one of the very first AR-15 9mm. They hit the market in 1986, and it's kind of funny because I found the receipt somewhere. I'll see if I can find it again and put it up here, but it was pretty interesting. They cost like $340, and back in '86, of course, that was a lot more money than it is now, but nobody cared. When they first came out with the AR-15 9mm, it was just like, it was a turd. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted it. But I sold one of them to a friend, and I sold another to a pawn shop, and just got rid of them. One thing I noticed about them years later, when friends had converted them to full auto or did the DOE guns, had them cute little DOE guns in full auto, the trigger slap was terrible. I mean, you fire this thing on full auto, it's like, you're like, my freaking finger. And it's because the bolt velocity is so high, in spite of the fact that it's got a tungsten weight in the carrier itself, and then you also have this extra heavy buffer in here. It just was bad. So I wanted to see if this was the same way. And so what I did was I took my M16 lower and put this upper on top of it, put the adapter in there and everything, and just tried it out just without changing anything. I had the whatever rifle length buffer and spring that was in there, I just kept it in there, and right off the bat it's like, and it was trigger slap, like, and it was about 1,000 RPM, I thought. A little lower than that, it turns out. But yeah, it hurt. Not terrible, but so then I took the buffer out of this one, which is some kind of big ass heavy thing. I don't want to take it out, but it's got a stouter spring and a big heavy buffer. And you know, this, just like the factory Colts from years ago, it has the tungsten buffer, and you can see the cross pin that holds it in place. But anyway, once I switched over to the heavy buffer and a different spring, it was a much more reasonable rate of fire. It felt like Uzi rate of fire. It felt around 600. As it turns out, it's 500 something. So that's kind of cool. So, you know, decent little gun, but you know, now firing it on semi-auto, I just tried a few shots, and it's just like, I don't know, the bolt hits so hard inside. So every shot, it's like, bam, bam, it's just very jarring. You know, like you shoot an MP5 or even any of the old open bolt subguns like Stens and stuff, where the bolt runs out on the springs, it doesn't hit all the way inside the back of the buttstock, and it just feels so much different. It just feels kind of a little bit spongy. So if you like to get your teeth rattled out, then yeah, go for this kind of style. But if you don't, I don't know what you do. But there's probably some kind of solution for it. You know, maybe they got a extra squishy buffer on the end. I don't know where the hell this came from, but anyway, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, it's compact, right? I mean, and it's cool looking. Except I don't know. I don't really like the looks. I don't like the angle of the Glock mag. I know that's kind of picky, but anybody with me on that? Let me know in the comments. Do you hate the Glock angle on a PCC? I'd much prefer a mag that goes straight in, but you know, that's just, you know, it's a tool. You shouldn't care how it looks, but of course we all do care how it looks. This is kind of a little unusual, but it works. I mean, it's kind of natural, pull the trigger. Maybe that's a bad habit though. So anyway, not much else to say about it. And yes, if you noticed, I don't have the last shot, the bolt hold open, because he didn't give me the right stuff. Apparently this uses a different method, and I'm kind of glad, because I really hate how they are on the originals, you know, the real deal, where you got this freaking roll pin you got to punch in from way over here, and you got to not bash in the side of here, and you got to not break off these ears. It's just, so these ones just thread in from one side. That's kind of cool. I like that, but what do I know? All right, just watching some high-speed video here. Yay! Who likes high-speed video? Let me know in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody likes high-speed video. As you can see, the Glock mag really presents the rounds up high, and there's no feed ramp in these, even though the original AR-15 9mm did have feed ramps. But of course, they used modified Uzi magazines, which were dual feeds. So that's the big difference there, I'm sure. But as you can see, this thing shoots great. I probably fired just under 100 rounds and didn't have any kind of issues at all to feed or eject. No problem. I found the rate of fire of this to be 580 rounds a minute, which is pretty reasonable. You know, very controllable and much easier to keep on target. You know, you still have the issue like I was talking about, where the bolt definitely smacks inside the stock and wants to bump you around, but yeah, it's not too bad. Now these first two bursts were taken with the extra heavy buffer and the stronger spring that came with the upper kit. The final burst was done with a totally stock buffer and spring that came with that old A2 buttstock decades ago. Right away you can see the rate of fire is higher here, and I figured out it was 925 rounds per minute, so that's a heck of a lot faster, and you can see the guns moving around a little bit more, but you know, not too bad still. Really consistent ejection pattern, I'll say that. Alrighty folks, thanks for watching. I appreciate you as always. I will catch you next time.